There are multiple ways for you to take advantage of ketones in your life. So when I say ketones, you might think what I'm about to say is those powdered drinks that people are selling for $10 a pop, but that's not what I'm saying. Our body produces ketones as a source of energy, and ketones tap into our fat reserves to use that as energy. What a beautiful thing. I'm Amy. I'm the founder of She Ketos, and I help women use the keto diet to find health and well-being, fertility, mood, basically whatever ails you. We can do that with a modified keto diet based off of your needs. So how do you do it? How do you tap into that fat burn? Quite simply, you need to deprive your body of carbohydrates. And there's multiple ways to do this, and ways that most people don't talk about. A lot of people, when they talk about ketosis, think of that one way to get there, which is that 20 grams of carbs or less a day. Now, what that's going to get you into is a deep state of nutritional ketosis. But that doesn't mean that if you're not in a place where you can commit to that right now, that you can't still utilize ketones in your body at a higher level than the average person. And ways that we can do that: number one, caloric restriction. If you're not giving your body the calories it needs, including the carbohydrates, your body will up the amount of ketones it makes in order to use your body fat as fuel. Now, I have a lot to say about caloric restriction, and there's a big conversation to have about that. So some other ways that I would prefer over doing extreme caloric restriction would be doing intermittent fasting or modified carbohydrate intake. So the longer that you keep the carbohydrates down in your body, the more likely your body is going to be to amp up that ketone production. This is where intermittent fasting can be an amazing tool, because if you're not eating for that 16-hour window, you will be producing ketones. This is what's going to allow you to get from that breakfast time to the lunch time without feeling like you need to eat, okay? So intermittent fasting will up the ketone production and start giving you the benefits of having some added ketones in your body. And the other way to do this, if you just can't fast, or you've already reached burnout, adrenal fatigue, you're exhausted, another way to do this would be to start your day or end your day, whichever you prefer, with a zero carb meal. And what I mean by that is you will be focusing on fats and proteins. So that could be a bacon and egg breakfast, or a steak for dinner with a side of veggies, and skipping the carbohydrates. And again, giving yourself that 16+ hour window of not having the carbohydrates will again get that ketone production up a bit. It won't get as high as when you say, I'm not eating any more carbs. Obviously, that's going to be the max level of ketones and the max level of ketone benefit, but sometimes we don't have to think that hard. Your body makes ketones in response to a lack of carbohydrates coming in as fuel, period. So whenever you're choosing to skip the carbohydrates, your body will have to make a few more ketones. And that is how so many people can keto without necessarily being strictly in nutritional ketosis.